there's a train come. You don't need no baggage, you just get on board.
You're now listening into Nichols Live. Larry is going to be a minute. I'm going to play one of his songs until he gets with us.
Oh, I wish I was in the land of cotton. Old times there are not forgotten. Look away, look away, look away, Dixieland, Dixieland, where I was born. Oh, early on a frosty morning, look away, look away, look away, Dixieland. Hush, little baby, don't you cry. You know your daddy bound to die. Oh, my trials, Lord, soon be over. Glory, glory, hallelujah. Glory, glory, hallelujah. Glory, glory, hallelujah. His truth is marching on. His truth is marching on. Desperado, why don't you come to your senses? You've been out riding fences for so long now. You're a hard one, you've got your reasons. These things that are pleasing you will hurt you someday. Don't you draw the queen of diamonds, boy. She'll hurt you if she's able. Best bet. It seems to me some fine things have been laid upon your table, but you only want the one you can't get. Desperado, the pain and calling you home. Freedom. Well, that's just people talking.
All right, I'm here. Are we on? Hello, folks. I think we are on. Somebody's got to tell me if we are. I'm sorry I'm late. I had to do a brief interlude with Alex Jones before I came on here. So I just wanted to apologize for being late. But you know, folks, it's a matter today of getting the word out any and every way we can. And I know there are people that don't, for whatever reason, like Alex Jones. Let me tell you about Alex Jones. Alex has taken a back in the day shortwave radio program when he was a young pup, and he's grown it into quite a business. But more important than the business is the service he's providing for this country, the service. And don't think he doesn't take his licks for it. Now, there are other great people out there, too many to name. Jeff Rent's one. Good heavens, there's so many I can't name them all. But do not discredit Alex Jones. He creates a huge audience for us to get information out with. And I appreciate him very much. Now, let me say, if you know somebody listening or wants to listen to the program, let me give you the listen line, 401-283-6754. That's 401-283-6754. And be sure and tell them when they get there to press 1 for channel 1. And if you want to get a message to me or say something, thank you. I got listeners sent me a thing saying I was on the air. The text number, we're not ready to take calls. The text number is 440-897-0611. And you're welcome to send me a question or a statement or a comment, whatever. I can't always get all of them out, but I try to get as many as I can. Now, guys, I guess the news of the day. Trump opens the barn door, so to speak, having to do with Vince Foster. As I understand the story, he was asked by the Washington Post what he thought about the Vince Foster matter. And it was based off that he made the comments he did. I've heard variations of what he said, from down to he said he was suspicious of it, or he said a lot of people were suspicious, and et cetera, et cetera. I don't know that he accused anybody of killing Foster. I don't know. But the door is now open. And I think all of you can see what I have been forewarning you about. When this election gets into full stride, when Hillary gets the nomination and it becomes Hillary versus Trump. And by the way, you might want to rephrase that statement. Instead of Hillary versus Trump, you might want to call it Hillary versus all of us. Once that race starts officially, now that the door certainly has been opened by Donald Trump about Foster, we will be there, you and I. I will walk the walk I've got to walk, not you. But there will be stuff released that will keep it up and keep it out there. Now, I'm honored that Donald Trump, and he's one of the few politicians I know of that when confronted by the Foster story, as he was, would even address it. Most Republicans would shy away from it. All of them today, most all of the bigwig Republicans that have been asked that I've heard, as they were asked, what do you think about Trump saying what he did about the Foster case? They all did what I figured they would all do, which is say, well, they wouldn't deal with it. They'd leave it alone. It's past. It's over. It's done. No, it's not. Now, there's one thing that has not come out yet, but I will see to it that it does. There's one reason the Foster story, in addition to the fact that he was the highest ranking person in and around the White House since John F. Kennedy to die while in office, there's one other reason why that story is significant. It was his relationship with Hillary. He had a long standing affair with Hillary. And that, my friends, is the reason. That's the reason that they don't want to talk about it. That's the reason the body was moved. Although, and I've told you, and I expect y'all to pass it on exactly as I say it. Do you hear me? Larry Nichols has never said the Clintons killed Vince Foster. Had him killed, killed him. I've never said anything like that. What I have actually said, and you have my permission to say what I actually say, which is, I don't know if somebody killed him or he killed himself. I don't know. But here's what I do know. They moved his body. He did not die in Fort Marcy Park the way they said he did. He did not. And it's the reason that body was moved that has a great bearing on this presidential election. You see, it's not about Bill. The reason they moved the body, well, let me just tell you, they had to get the body moved from where it was, because where it was originally found, and you'll notice I said where it was originally found. I didn't say I believe where it was originally found or maybe where it was originally found. I said where it was originally found. If the investigation had have taken place there, the police, the Washington, D.C. police, would have been in charge of the investigation. Do you understand that part of it? The D.C. police would have been in charge of the investigation. And had they been in charge of the investigation, as they would with any potential suicide or murder, they would have looked into mitigating circumstances. And one of the things they would have quickly found out was the fact that Vince and Hillary had had a long-standing affair back when Bill was governor, and going on when they actually moved into the White House until Hillary broke it off. Now, folks, it's hard to think about that in terms today of what it would have meant back in, 93, 94. Had that have come out then, the damage that would have been done to Hillary would have been so great she would have never been able to run for president even today. It would have been over for her. Today, the universal morals of our society have dropped to the point where I don't even know if it would matter that much. But here's where it will matter. It will matter in this campaign. Now, I've told you before, I'm not a complete fool. Maybe I'm not completely ignorant. I'm merely foolish. Let's just say it that way. Maybe I'm just merely foolish. But I do not believe, in face of, for example, the email investigation, if they haven't prosecuted her over that, then why would any of us believe that anything I or anybody else might turn up relative to Vince Foster, that she would be prosecuted over it? All those statute limitations do not apply. Remember, this was a capital death, capital felony death, murder, potentially, suicide. It's an open case. But I don't believe she will be indicted over anything that I would bring out. But here's what I can do. Here's what, if you help me, I will do. I can use it to make sure she never sets foot in the White House as President of the United States. That I can do. Well, it's 15 after, time for the first commercial, folks. I need your help. I did not get the money yesterday for the treatment, but thanks to an incredible angel sent by God, I guess. I know. Janice, thank you. Thank you. She sent enough to help me get the treatment, but I had to do it this morning early because by the time it came in, it was too late. So we can't do that again. I can't do that again, or I run the risk of being thrown out of the program that I'm in. Folks, please, if you can help, go to PayPal now, please. Nichols Live at AOL.com. Send what you can. $500, what we got to have. $500, please go. Now, I think I've gotten like 50 in already. Thank you to whomever. So we're, let's say $450, but I got to have it. I need your help to get there. If you can at all, please. Back to the program. You see, we've got a job to do. We have a job. Sorry about that. Somebody's calling in. We have a job to do. It's called protect our nation. This is it. This is the battle. This is the war. This is where it begins and this is where it ends. We've got to grow. We've got to grow. And we've got to become a source of real, true, documentable, guaranteed truth. That's what we got to be. Now, there's going to be miles and miles of rumors and innuendos and crazy wild statements, and then mixed in is going to be some truth. But it will be buried because of all of the nutbag stuff. And let's not forget that the Clintons, their machine, trust me, I know because I was in it. I know. They will put people out here, pay them to go and spread stories that aren't true, just to get the people sidetracked and to buy into some bogus story that discredits us all. Since the day we first came on with this program, there was a definition that I gave that I think we should try to apply. The true definition of a patriot is one who seeks the truth. Know the truth. Know when you know the truth. And know when you know something that you might think to be true, but you just can't prove it. Is this country worth, is it worth you going to the water cooler where you work and passing information out to your fellow workers or to your friends or people you come in contact? Is it worth putting a story out to them that turns out maybe not to be true, that discredits everything that is true and that we're trying to get out? Is it worth it? I don't think it is. This is not a game. This is for our country. Guys, I get down this merry-go-round roller coaster thing I'm on with having to raise the money and beg the money to keep the treatments going where I can stay up and doing what I do. I hate it. I hate it, and I hate when I get to the end of the program and it hadn't come, and I just crash. I just crash. And I realize when I go and every time I tell them I can't do it, that they're going to say, okay, look, you're not helping this project at all by the inconsistency. So therefore, we're just going to kick you out. I got this message here from a listener. I am skipping a meal per day to pledge $100 a month. If all listeners give just $3 a month, it will be enough. That is true. That is true. We have enough people listening that it really, if anybody could help just a little, if everybody helps, it's enough. I just can't yesterday, I was to the point where I was ready to just call it off. I was just ready to call it off because I know how quick I get sick. I know how quick it comes on. Matter of fact, I had asked to put on Facebook, literally asked, put it out that I just couldn't take it anymore. And I was just probably going to have to stop doing the program. And then as it has come time and time again, as if God sent special angels, like Carla, Bob, Mary, Janet, Dixie, others, it comes in. But I can't live off that wondering. It's terrible. I mean, I can't tell you. I mean, I'm so please just know we've got a job to do here. It's very, very important, this job we've got to do. I will do my part if I'm able. If and only if I'm able, I will go when it's time. I will go. I will go out and I will spread the word, and I will spread it until it's heard. And I will take a good portion of the money Hillary fully intends to use to destroy Donald Trump's credibility. I will make her commit a goodly portion of that money to fighting the things that I bring out. I will. Promise you I will. And it won't just be Trump. As I was telling Alex there towards the end of the program, you know, you're hearing today of Terry McAuliffe getting these possibly illegal campaign contributions from his Chinese guy named Wang. Well, folks, I will be bringing out, it will come out soon now about Charlie Tree, another Chinese guy that had a restaurant in Arkansas. And when Bill Clinton was elected president, Tree got out of his restaurants and went to Washington with the Clintons. Now, this is a true story. This is a true story, and you can go back. I'm sure there are stories still out there on the internet. Charlie Tree was found time and time again being in top secret national security private meetings with the Clintons and his staff. There he was. He had no security clearance. He had no official standing in that community. But he was there. And then I caught him. I caught him leaving the White House, walking virtually across the street to the Stevens Investment office that they set up in Washington. He walked across the street, and you know what he did? This nip, this Chinese guy, he literally sent faxes off of the Stevens Investment Firm's phone system. He sent faxes to the government of China. And in those fax messages of the day, there weren't text or whatever, in those fax messages he sent information about the meetings that he was around and was a part of, or in the room when they were discussed. That was me that brought out all of that about that guy named Charlie Tree. Nobody had ever heard of him. Nobody knew. Certainly nobody knew he was going across the street. No, well, first off, nobody knew this Chinese guy, restaurant owner from Arkansas, was privileged to be in the room when they had secret security meetings. He was. He was. And then no one knew that he walked across the street to Stevens Investment, to their office, and used their fax machine, their phone system, to send word to the Chinese government about what went on in those meetings. I would call that treason. Now, he was some kind of nationalized American, but that wasn't very American to me. And by the way, it was Charlie Tree Do you hear me? It was Charlie Tree that helped negotiate for Bill Clinton and the Chinese. In that day, the F-18 was the newest jet fighter we had that was being built. It was a whole new technology, fly-by-wire. It was all controlled. For the first time, we had an aircraft that was totally controlled by a computer. Bill Clinton, with the assistance of Charlie Tree, negotiated, facilitated for China to be able to build, to be the sole builder of the onboard computer for that F-18, and I guess they still are today. China. Can you believe that? I just got Gary, thank you, sent 25. So now we're down to 425. We've got to have, please, if you can. I mean, do you not believe, does anybody listening to my voice, knowing now that the Chinese government, now it's a private company, supposed to listen to me, y'all, listen. There is no such thing in China as a private corporation. You got it? Now, you can have a corporation in China. Me and you, we can have a business. But 50% of all businesses owned in China, 50% are owned by the PRC, People's Republic of China. So there is a company that makes the computer system that helps us with our F-18 fighters. Now that was then. Who knows what they're making now? Who knows? There's more to the reason why we cannot allow the Clintons in power. There's more than just the women issue for Bill and the cover up on Foster. There's a lot more, and we're going to go over it. Now, I got to talk about something else today. Something else. Remember, I've told y'all about Puerto Rico. Puerto Rico. That's still there, guys. It's not gone. It is not gone. They are still in default. And there's still one of the major banks in this nation holding the majority of that indebtedness that they're technically already in foreclosure on. It just hadn't been declared. They got two ways out. Number one, our government votes for you and I with our tax money that we already don't have. Many of us don't even have jobs. But our government's voting to take up and pay off their debt. That's one way they can get out of it. The other way is for the bank to be nationalized and for them, the people in Puerto Rico, to lose all of their money. And that money that's in all of the banks to be used to pay the debt. Now, guys, that's on us right now. That can cause our nation to go down in a heartbeat. That's why I've been working so hard to try to get y'all to prepare. To get you to prepare. I found out that with Alex's company, they've got a brand, something called Select. You can go there. They've got storable foods. Please take care of yourself and your family. Suit up. Be ready for at least a month, 2 months. Greg from Leading Edge, just 6 months, whatever. Just get yourself ready with food and water. Storable food and water. Because when this happens, there will be an immediate shock. I've also told you about the bow, the crossbow, the longbow. Please, I'm doing everything I can to try to help you get it, be able to defend yourself and protect your neighborhood without risking everyone in your neighborhood's lives with you going and shooting off guns in the neighborhood in the night. There's something else you need to know besides Puerto Rico. We've talked about it in the past week or so. It has to do with Saudi Arabia. Now, I can tell you when we talked about it before. We talked about it when the bill was being voted on and passed to make it legal for the families and survivors of 9/11 to sue Saudi Arabia for their complicitness, however you want to define that, in that attack against America. Obama has said he would veto that bill if it comes to his desk. I don't know. He hadn't done it yet. We'll see. But the Senate, Chuck Schumer, Democrat, said he thinks they've got solid enough votes to override a veto. Saudi Arabia has claimed that if that happens, there will be grave economic penalty for the United States. What's he talking about? We talked about it then. We talked about the massive holding Saudi Arabia has in U.S. Treasury note. And if they get good and mad, good and horned up, and they dump that stuff on the global marketplace, America's down the tank. And, we're done. Here we go again, just like Puerto Rico. Now you got another thing that can put us under. Put us under. That's why I say you got to be ready. But a story was brought to my attention today. And it's something you need to know, but it's kind of going to be a little bit weird because you're going to say, what's this got to do with the price of eggs in America, right? As it turns out, China, in the past couple of months, has increased the amount of oil they have bought from Russia by 52%. China has increased the amount of oil they're buying from Russia by 52% in just the past month or two. At the same time, regardless of what Goldman Sachs has put out, saying that the glut for oil and the too much oil and all this stuff with oil is past, it's all gone, that there's not a problem with oil. In spite of what they said, let me tell you what that tells me about China increasing the amount of oil they get from Russia, 52%. Do you want to know? Do you? Whoops, I've missed the commercial. Let me go to the commercial, then we'll come back and talk about it. Because this is another event just lurking out there that can put us down. All right, guys, we got 27 minutes. We're 425 away from what I got to have. 1 hour after this program. Please, if you can, somebody go to PayPal. Please go now. I want to thank Gary, Jane, Jason. I mean, there are people that have helped so far today. We're still 425 away. Please help. Go to PayPal if you can. Please, now. I have to have you, and we've got 26 minutes to do it. I've got to get that treatment. Please, nobody's hitting it. Somebody hit PayPal so I know you're out there. By the way, you can go to Facebook. If you don't have a PayPal account, if you've got a debit card or a charge card, please just go to Larry Nichols, Conway, Arkansas, the Facebook, and there you will see a button that you can use with just your debit card or a charge card. You do not have to have PayPal to use it. I got a text here that says give out your text number. Folks, if you want to text me, it's 440-897-0611. That is 440-897-0611. Please help. Now, please, 25 minutes. Back to the oil. Now, China has increased their oil from Russia 52%. That's a lot, guys. That's a lot. While at the same time, we've got over 1,000 freighters parked out in the Mediterranean and other oceans. They're not going anywhere. So what on earth is going on? Let me tell you, if I may. You see, those ships that are loaded down with oil, most of that has come from OPEC, and most of OPEC oil comes from Saudi Arabia. Why are those ships sitting out there? You see, used to, the major oil companies, ExxonMobil, etc., in this country, we were the great, we'd get the oil from the Middle East, we refine it, and then we ship it back to Europe and China, etc. That's the way it worked. All of a sudden now Russia's in there getting a piece of that pie. And thanks to Barack Hussein Obama with his Iranian deal, he stuck a dagger right between the shoulder blades of Saudi Arabia, and they know it. They know it. You see, strangely enough, at the same time, Russia's sale of oil to China's gone up 52%. Iran's oil sales to Russia have dropped 22%. Now, how could that be? Well, the way it is Russia's getting the oil from Iran. Russia's getting the oil from Iran, and they're selling it. And instead of those ships coming here and our oil companies refining it and shipping it to China and Europe, guess what? It ain't coming here. Because we don't have any market to resell it. Because Russia has entered the fray. Now I think you understand Russia's involvement in the Middle East with Syria. Hey, they see a real chance to get in the business. Delana just got 50 from her. Thank you, Delana. We're 375, please. Thank you, Delana. Thank you so much. Now, Middle Eastern oil, we cannot use it here in America. We can't. Sour crude, we can't burn here. The oil that we can burn in this nation comes from Mexico, Canada, and us. And I think we get some from Libya. But other than that, all of the oil in the Middle East, it's got to go to Europe, North Korea, South Korea, China, all of those third world countries. They're the only ones that can buy that. And our big old oil companies, bless their hearts, they've lost the business. Consequently, they've got ships stranded out in the ocean that they have no way to bring them in because they don't have any need for the oil. Do you understand all of that I told you? Because I know that's a little kind of technical. But then you probably are asking yourself, well, why, Larry, do we need to know that? This is back to what you around the water cooler or with your friends or as you're talking to people. This is the kind of thing that we need to inform them. When we talk about this country going into a crisis, think of this. Think of this. Russia, they don't care about the humanitarian problems in the Middle East. Trust me, that just ain't Putin and the boys. They don't care about that stuff. But they see that they now can get a foothold in supplying the rest of the world with millions and millions and millions of barrels of oil, which will help their economy. And you know what they're doing? Sorry about that. That was an inquiry. You didn't realize, I guess I was on the air. You know what that's doing? That's sitting there, and now you've got Saudi Arabia, and Saudi Arabia's screwed. They've been hooked up to America all these years, and guess what? Now that horse ain't even hardly in the race anymore. So you see, they may have reason right there to say to hell with America and cash in those treasury notes and dump them on the market. And if you wonder what that means to you or how that could relate, let me just say, what if at your home you have a line of credit at the bank of $10,000? And every month, when you take the income you got coming in from work in whatever way you got money coming in, and it comes in and it's not enough to cover your bills, you go to the bank and you borrow against the line of credit you got. That's the way you've been doing. That's the way America is. Every month, folks, America, when it needs to pay its bills, puts out more treasury notes and other things to sell to get the money to pay our bills. Now, if Saudi Arabia or anyone else puts all of our treasury stuff out there and dumps it, which means the price goes way down, then guess what? We don't have an ability to borrow the money, essentially. It's called selling treasury, but you're not selling, you're just really borrowing against them. When those treasury notes get devalued to the extent someone like Saudi Arabia could do, they devalue it down, and guess what? Come the end of the month, America don't have no way to get money to cover its bills. And then guess what? America defaults on its obligations. And then guess what? We're in a bind. We're in a hole. The nation comes down again. Watch it. Watch that. Something nobody's talking about. You kind of got to dig around. That's something you need to know. Russia's over there making their country safe by doing the things to generate the kind of war against America that they want to wage right now, which, as I have told you, wars are fought on many different planes. There's many different kinds of wars. There's the bang bang shoot 'em up one you know about. There's the socio-economic wars. There's the economic wars. There's the fuel wars. It's all of them. Well, Russia's waging an economic war against this country. And they can use oil to bring us to our knees. Do you understand now why I ask you? Are you getting a better idea now of why I'm asking you? Please take care of your family, take care of yourselves, get ready in case any or all of these things, because when one hits, all will hit pretty quick. This nation is in the worst trouble that it's been in that I can remember. We're in lots of trouble. We got one way out of this. One. And like it or not, that way is Donald Trump. Now, I am glad to see Trump not shying away and using the Foster stuff, although that will be something I will deal with, and I'm in a better position than even he is to deal with it. The fact is that he is not afraid of it means that we may get our chance to have it in the media. If I bring it up by myself using the sources I have, it's a time-consuming process to get anybody to cover it and put it out. But with Trump making it be an issue, it gets out to the public's eye. That helps. But the other thing Trump can do as he runs for president, he can actually talk about and push the one thing that's the only thing that saves our nation, and that's states' rights. Stripping Washington, D.C. of this power that it has amassed over the years, that states have willingly exceeded and just given to it. Powers that rightfully, truly do not belong with the federal government. Decisions made about the transgender vestite thingies, whatever you call those things. Immigration, bringing in thousands of Syrian quote unquote refugees. All of that stuff needs to be and could be dealt with at the state level. I got this in on the text. Hi, Larry. I can't access friend your Facebook besides signing up for Alex Jones's newsletter. Where can we that want to save America? Where can we get a written list of the facts you're sharing with cited sources that we can use, share, print, etc. to fight Hillary? And that comes from Delana. Delana, listen to this program, and if you can at all, go to Larry Nichols, Conway, Arkansas. I don't know why you couldn't get in there to be a friend, but try again, hopefully. I don't know. I don't know how to do all that kind of stuff. But go to Alex, folks, find out how to get on his email list. Yes, I know some of that has to do with Alex, and it would be used kind of like an advertising tool. I know that, but don't worry about that part. You want to be where we can get information out to you fast. And if you will come to my site and be and friend, try to, get on as a friend, sign up as a friend, whatever you do, then that's the only way I have to be able to disseminate information quick and to all of you. Please go there and do that. And don't worry. The support on the stuff I say, the support stuff will be there. And if on occasion there's something that I cannot hand you a piece of paper or whatever to verify, just know the way I say it exposes me. Just be sure that you always use my words, not someone else's words. And always, if you're going to quote me, listen to it over and over and get the quote down exactly as I say it. Well, if you do that, what assurance have you got that I'm not just making stuff up, folks? The stuff I say, I can be criminally prosecuted for libel and slander. Not just sued financially. I'm talking about prosecuted, put in jail. I got this in from a listener. Larry, someone called me and asked me what is the immediate threat you're seeing as the reason we should buy food. They heard you on Alex Jones. The best immediate threat that I would tell someone like that, listeners, is I would tell them about Puerto Rico and the fact that one of our 5 major banks is holding 70% thereabout of that debt. And if it goes totally into default, that bank will have no choice but basically collapse. Now, they'll come up with a way to make it not collapse, but that's how they'll draw all the other banks in. And when they draw all the other banks in, that's called the nationalization part of it. And then, as you know, from that comes a negative interest, which is not negative interest like you don't have to pay interest. Negative interest means they will charge you to keep your money in a bank. And then after that, of course, will come repatriation, meaning they will take your money in the bank. Use that for now, listener. Puerto Rico, it's there. It's there for people to see. Use that commercial of that lady. That lady's talking about what happens here when it happens here. That lady, that's not Venezuela. That's not Greece. That's a territory of the United States of America that's fully in default of its payment of 107 million, thereabouts, 170 million, whatever it was. And remember, that's just a payment. That's not the debt. That's just a payment. They got this. Why cash on hand and not silver? Folks, again, listener, all of you, I'm not in the business of trying to hurt companies that sell gold and silver or whatever. I'm not. I got a message here from the person that asked what threat, and they said thank you. I'm not against gold and silver companies. What I'm trying to tell you is when this thing comes down, cash will be king. You're not going to be able to take gold and silver and go to the grocery store and buy a loaf of bread. You're just not going to. You're going to have to do what? Convert it to cash. You got it? You're not going to take a gold bar into a restaurant and be able to buy a meal. You're not. You're going to have cash. Now, you say, well, then I'll convert my gold and silver to cash and then go get a loaf of bread. That may be so. But when we get in the pits of this thing going to hell, and I'm talking about the second it starts, you will find being able to convert your gold and silver to cash. You may, I'm saying may, be shocked at what you will get for your gold and silver. I'm just saying. I am just saying. When you hear the commercials from the gold and silver selling companies and they say there's never been a time when gold was worth nothing, they are right. There's never been a time when it was worth nothing. It just don't say how much it's worth. Listen, please. Please listen. The things I'm telling, I'm just trying to do to help you. I don't get anything from you moving your money and having it on hand. I get nothing from you getting storeable food from Alex or whomever you choose to get it from, wherever you choose. I don't. I'm just telling you it's coming. Don't be foolish. If I thought moving your money to where you have control of it would cost you anything, then I'd say, I'm not going to tell you what to do. But you're not getting anything in the bank now. Is it worth the risk of the bank repatriating your funds? I don't think so. All right, folks, we got 8 minutes. I skipped the last commercial. I think we're at $425, and I got to get it. If you're out there, please, if you're out there, will you go to PayPal now? I got 1 hour, y'all. 1 hour. And after the ordeal yesterday, and thank you, Angel of Mercy, Janice, thank you. But I don't have any choice. 1 hour from now, I got to tell them, and I'm afraid I've told them so many times I couldn't that they're just going to take me out of the program because I'm affecting the outcome of the program. If you can, please help me. If you can. Think about the things I've told you today. These things I've told you are real. You can hunt them down. I don't know exactly how, but you can go on the internet and you can find out. You can find the article about China getting 52% of its oil today from Russia. You can. That's out there. That's not me saying it. I got a question here. Do you need $425 or do you have $420? I need $425 in the next 7 minutes. $425 in the next 7 minutes. And you can go to PayPal, nicholslive@aol.com, or you can go to Larry Nichols, Conway, Arkansas, Facebook, and there's a, I think it's yellow button that you push. If you've got a debit card, a charge card, and you're not with PayPal, you can do it that way. But please just do it. Now, you can go on the internet and find the article. Now, when you see the article about China getting 52% of its oil from Russia, I think now you can sort of understand why, out of the blue, Putin, who sure don't care about the humanitarian crisis having to do with Syria. Now I think you can see that they got their own little deal. Russia's trying to take over the oil in the Middle East. And they lack one thing, technically, just one, to get the prize. And that prize is Saudi Arabia. When they get Saudi Arabia, then we're in trouble. It's over. All right, I got a half-minute warning. So 4.5 minutes. I'm sorry. Thank you, Alden. We have 4.5 minutes. I wasn't paying much attention. 4.5 minutes, and nobody has hit PayPal. Somebody please hit PayPal. Got a message from Bob at the National Enquirer. Any thoughts on the Vince Foster story? A new angle, new line. So you see, they'll call me. They will call. We will get the word out. I promise you that. We will get the word out. Now, you out there? I hope you are. Wow, thank goodness. I just got a PayPal. This is from Delana. Again, Delana, thank you. Now we're 400 away. Thanks to Delana. Thank you. Are you starting to see the importance, I hope, of this program? Are you? Yes, I just got it, Delana. Delana said I think that was Delana, said she sent another 25. I guess that was you, Delana. I hope that was you. I'm not. See, I know the area codes and numbers, but I don't know who they are. So y'all forgive me if I don't address the right person. You see the importance of the program now? I mean, you will see every day now, more and more, you will see the importance of why we meet here. And I hope you will see every day more and more your role and how important you are. You. I mean, folks, you've got skin in this game whether you know it or not. If you've got children and grandchildren, you have got no choice but to involve yourself, because you cannot, for your children and grandchildren's sake, you cannot allow this country to be destroyed. You just can't. So I hope you get it. I just got, oh Lord, Robert. All right, I got a minute and a half. I shouldn't say this, but Robert, I'm not going to say it, Robert. I'm just going to say, folks, we're still, I'm just not, Robert. I'm just, okay, yeah, it's Delana. Says it's Delana. Read comments left on 523 video. Maybe touch on those tomorrow. Very well, Delana, we'll try. Robert, in case you know, has bailed us out. So my stomach being in a knot can be relieved. He's been an angel sent to me by God. But it's not right that he has to carry the load for all of us. It's just not. So please, I'd love to see it to where there's so many names I can't say thank you for all of them. That's what I'd love to see. But with that, this program's about it. I got 10 seconds, so let me say thanks to Robert and Delana and y'all. I will see you tomorrow. God bless you in this country.
Somewhere over the rainbow, way up high, there's a land that I've heard of.